Another lovely day in the crypto universe. I have a very special message for you, baby dolls. Uncle Bobby Loukas, I really think he's my uncle. Look what he said here. We bottomed 8 weeks ago after a 7-month consolidation, and many accounts are calling this tail end of the bull market, with a couple or a few months left. Anything is possible, but I think it has a lot more time than that. Probably 2 stages here with a good pause or shake in between. What? Look, Uncle Bobby, he makes a means of lucky. I really think he's my uncle, friends, because that's exactly what I've been thinking. There is a lot of PTSD in the market. It's pretty much confirmed now. And this PTSD, friends, what does it actually do? It means that people can't really go balls to the wall in the first wave. That's what usually happens. So this is the Bitcoin weekly chart. I have a 1 and 2 here. This will just denote where the previous alt season, alt cycles have like appeared. Okay, the tops. Now, I hope we get 2 big waves. We had a repeat of that in 2017, right? That was the double bubble alt season. But we're not guaranteed that to happen. So if you want to live in this like world where there is certainty, unfortunately, you're not going to get it. And if we want a bit more confirmation, we can look at the others BTC chart. I mean, it's pulled back right in. So that's how I can tell that, you know, alt season is nowhere near anything dangerous. Look where we are. Look how safe we are. We're all the way down here. However, on this spike up, right, it's not going to feel like a spike, but it actually looks like a spike on the chart. If we are to get a giant year next year, it might mean that the first wave doesn't really tickle your fancy that much. It's possible. Might mean that first wave, I don't know what that number is. It's different for everyone. It might mean like a 4x of your whole portfolio here. It might mean that. I'm not gonna lie. It might be like a 4 or 5x, and that's it. And like you might sit on that time period for 2 weeks, but then it just drops like 70%. I would prefer that to happen. Why? Because it would give me more conviction that the cycle's not over. I think the most dangerous thing would be if we are up and your portfolio is up like a 15x from here, let's say 10x, because at that point, it's possible, like from today, that this next part's going to be extremely rough, right? Just to confirm with you as well, fading the 4-year cycle has been the actual widowmaker. Now, what do you think is more likely? The 4-year cycle's not going to occur the same. That's one possibility. Or maybe it does occur. However, at the end of 2025, some big, giant, colossal news event appears. Something that you can't foresee. Something where maybe world governments say, you know what, we're going to rotate our gold into Bitcoin. Just start shocking you. You know what I mean? Where it creates this like FOMO, extreme amount of demand. And then that would be very tough to fade because you are fading an unforeseen, unpredicted event. But, you know, the rational ones would have to say, well, every single time this type of stuff happened, it was actually over faster than you thought. So I can't tell you the full answer. No one can tell you the full answer, friends. But I'm just trying to prepare you for, you know, maybe you got a Jeet stack on stuff going on next year. If we have 2 alt season waves, and I feel we're going to have a double bubble alt season. I don't know the size of them, but if we do get that, at least you're 100% prepared. And we can even see on the total crypto market cap chart here, it's 3.3 trillion. What would expensive be? I feel anything above 10 to 15 would be expensive. Not in terms of it's never coming back there again, but above 10 to 15, it needs to come back down, maybe test this zone here, and then in the bear market before continuing up. Maybe it's something like that. That'll be wild and nice. Wild and nice, friends. If we go to 10, there's a wild on the part up, and obviously the bear market would be poopy. But I think that would be a fitting tail to the end of this bull market if we could get like a 10 trillion number. Now, if Bitcoin is, let's say its dominance, if you look at its dominance from that right here, if Bitcoin's dominance got down to 40% right here, and it's 10 trillion, that means Bitcoin's about 200K. Okay, just to let you know. So if Bitcoin is there, it's about Bitcoin, that's about that 200K. And then Ethereum, if it's at its dominance of around 10%, that's a $9,500 ETH. Now, I'm hoping that's not the end. I'm hoping there's another spike up that happens. And that'll be fantastic, right? If there's another burst, a double bubble burst up. But you don't know, man, because We can pray for these things. You just don't know if the market's going to truly price these things far into the future. But what I'm going to do is play some Pikachu in the jungle music for us. Don't forget, CZ follows me now. Now, honestly, I fell off my chair. After CZ followed me, this is so cute, by the way. This is Vitalik and CZ. CZ actually followed me on Twitter. Immediately, some monster of a man, some boss, clipped in $220,000 into pDAI. And I'm actually in shock. Yeah, he actually did. This is the guy. It's the guy, 220K. He just flipped it in. Look at all the big green circles. If you're in Telegram, fans, you love scrolling Telegram. That's like your dopamine hit, by the way. When you open up Telegram and you just, because they learn from the meme. In meme coin world, they only show the buys. Man, I love crypto, man. We literally ban anything to do with the sell. We only show the green circle buys, and everyone cheers around every single buy. It's freaking hilarious. So does that mean CZ is going to list PulseChain? Is that what's going to happen? I hope it does. Remember, PulseChain is priced like a neo-religion. It's a fitting part of the story, man. The amount of battling the PulseChain community has had to do just to like keep its name out there. And look, man, I'll be honest, fans. If Richard Hart gets pDAI to $1, okay, he's doing the market cap trick. The TVL of everything will be so big, they have to take note of us. The number will be huge because everyone out there in crypto, they won't know what happened. Just to give you some history, HEX at the start, it had a real market cap. They didn't ban it at the start. And then once they kind of figured out, oh, what's going on, there's an origin address, then they started gatekeeping it. That's why I think if pDAI can hit $1, then the TVL on like DeFi Llama and all the numbers, they're going to be like gargantuan and people aren't going to know what's really going on, which is good. That's more advertising for us. Now, I asked GROK again, GROK, what chance do you give for Richard Hart to be the main operator behind pDAI on PulseChain? So if we must assign a chance, I'd say the 75% likelihood that Richard Hart is a puppet master behind pDAI on PulseChain. You know, there you go, man. There you go. So GROK saying 75%. I just still say 60% because it's like a coin flip. I don't want you to get the impression that, you know, anything in here is certain, but it's like, it's staring everyone in the face. If this works out, okay, don't FOMO buy it and touch anything. I'm awareing you. The market's saying 2.6% chance. GROK is saying literally a 60%. GROK is saying, I give the odds here, the market's here. Look at this gap, man. Look at that gap, friends. You ain't never going to see that for a long time. Trust me, they're out there like 1 out of 1,000 coins. And if people out there are teaching you and me about them, you won't even believe them the first time. Or the gap won't even be that big. This is like never before seen. You know when people write articles, the gap, friends, it's not a 30x gap. It's more like a 2x. That's huge. That's all the DeFi mid-curvers going. They're like, oh, this TVL base of this chain, it's at 4 billion, but it should be 8 billion. 2x, bro. And they go wild after that. Whoa, a 2x. This is 30. Oh, GROK, are you going to be our Habibi Albi? Yes, you are. Shout out to Money Gang Crypto as well. I was watching one of his streams out here. He had a video. He said he FUDs pDAI. I think it was just he just wrote FUDs pDAI. I don't think it wasn't FUDing it. It's just like there's things you don't know about. Like you are literally just watch my videos. I told you. Firstly, no one knows anything. No one knows everything. Sorry. Secondly, you've made a key assumption that Richard owns none of the coins, which is a dangerous assumption. Okay, I think that's a wrong assumption. Assume Richard owns a lot of the coins, and then you can start to see it past you. Shout out to Ryan as well. Ryan commented to Money Gang. Look what he says. I'm right with you to be wary of it, sir. I've read all of 99's tweets. And then he goes, disregarding all of that, though, there's something that Sommi has said that sticks with me through, though. He goes, the simple fact Sommi said that this coin, pDAI, has overtaken the entire chain, and Richard Hart has not only never said this is bad, but he also soft shielded pDAI about 4 times. That in itself makes me think there is something here. And friends, if you know this type, you know this over time, this realization of that's actually reflected in the price chart. That's why this thing glides up over time. You see that? Richard Hart has never moved the origin address coins, but that's a market, right? It's over time. The longer the time goes, without Richard denying it, the more people accept it. They go, it's your chain, your coin. You haven't said you're not an owner, and this thing is growing so much. Everyone's basically doing the grandma test. Like if a grandma looks at it, they go, oh, Richard Hart, it's your coin. You see, and that's why it's gliding up over time. Even though these news events might come out, but if you're waiting for the big packaging thing, look, man, maybe we don't get it, maybe we do get it, I don't know. But if the big ultimate move will be the origin address coins start moving into the vault. Like he doesn't have to do all of them. He just puts like a bit of it in. He throws like 100 hex in just into the vault just to see what happens. Oh, it's game over by that point. Like I would assign. Well, at that point, it's 99.99% chance he's behind it. But the market price might be like at 30 cents by that point. Because you know what comes next? Like, that everybody who doubted it, they go back and watch all our videos saying, oh, what comes next is actually the collateralization. Now, we've got some, remember the cyclical talk, friends. It is always interesting and it's critical to understand the positioning of the market. Remember I told you, I've even got it here, right? I've told you all throughout the years, the secret to markets, man, is positioning. It's actually right here. You see this? The only secret to markets is positioning. Now, if we continue along this path and most of the crypto industry still has PTSD, we're going to win really, really big next year. Because what it would mean is in the first half of next year, I'm just going to tell you now, you're not going to get as euphoric as you think. Why? Because everyone thinks it's over. That's why. If everybody thinks it's over in March or April, they're not buying with their most aggressive bullet size in the next 2 to 3 months on average. And the market will dampen itself. Okay. So what I will then guess is we go up, we come down, and everyone thinks it's over, but something happens at the end of next year. Some big gargantuan news event. That's why I'm just like speculating that the US Fed says, you know what, we're going to rotate some gold into Bitcoin. Just some sort of massive psyops looking dream. It's kind of like the equivalent of UFOs landing on the White House moment for crypto. And in that moment, it might convince everyone. The 4-year cycle is broken. This news is so big. This time is actually different. You see? So that's how you get everybody trapped. Because everyone's got PTSD now. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to end early. And then you take all the dopamine off. But then a big news event comes and shoots everything up. And they're like, whoa, this time is actually different. And actually, unfortunately, the tragedy of the masses, right? They sell down here because they never got their price target. And now they know it's over. And then actually they come back in. They start buying back in up here. Just because they're like, this time is different. But we're going to have a word about that. Now, shout out to Baby Doll Randy Boo. This crypto bull market ends sooner than you think. So we have Randy Boom, all these thumbnails, a lot of people, oh, the top is almost in and just a few months away. Look, man, you don't let yourself, don't have hatred for other people, okay? They're just signals, okay? Everything's a signal. It's not about these. You learn off me, all right? They're literally signal. When people come and FUD anything I like or whatever, I don't say, I'm now going to get really angry at that. No, I say, okay, that's a signal. That's someone who has mind share of my thing. So if my thesis is right, that's another future buyer. Okay. And also I've written here, we got given everything. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, Donald Trump, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, Michael Saylor FOMO. Every news event is basically gearing us up. Though a lot of people are wondering, you know, if Donald Trump gets in, is there going to be a bit of sell the news, the inauguration, and when people like finally get the hangover and they realize how long it takes to actually do changes in the government? Look, man, all I care about is one thing, okay? Gary Guzler, the semen demon, he's got his foot off our throats. That's all we care about. I don't care about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. I don't care about anything else, to be honest. Just get their feet off our throat. That's it. Stop stomping on our throats. And that's enough. That's enough for me. Now you can let the true free market figure out where they think things want to go. So someone in my Telegram as well, I forgot your name, sir, Mr. came in and said, give me the too long didn't read version of why we sold off today. The answer is just the back test. That's it. We came back, we back tested this support high from March 2020 this year, and that's it. We're just going to hopefully keep going up. That's very, very common in markets. They just do like a go up, come back, do the back test, wick everyone out, and then come back up. Now, remember, HEX is a better Bitcoin, and we will keep saying that until the price is high enough. I hope that's a dollars away, friends. It's really cheap. The next price targets are 5 cents and 10 cents. Don't forget you have ICOSA, which is very thin. There is a gentle sir in the ICOSA Telegram. He said to me, Sommi, I don't like how ICOSA's thin. It's thin. I'm like, bro, it's 5 million market cap. It is so overly sold. It's not meant to be this thin. It's just really, really, really cheap. You understand that? And this, by the way, is opportunity. It just shows you how the first round of people that get excited about it, let's say after HEX is 5 or 10 cents or something, there's literally nothing there. It can just gaps up like 8x, for example, just to find as fair value, okay? Also got to remind everybody, XRP got to 155 billion user market cap. That's right. 155 billion for XRP without Ripple's locked up tokens, without them. 155. That is like HEX $1.50. All right? HEX, that's right. HEX $1.50. Combined HEX, both of them 75 cents, or one of them $1.50. Just write $1.50. No one cares about that stuff. So XRP, brother. You got no DeFi. You skipped every single narrative in crypto, okay? In fact, Ripple dumps 6% of the inflation every year. Make no mistake about it. You underperform Uniswap. You have to fork everything. You barely got a working EVM chain. You were doing $20,000 of volume a few months ago. You still got a 155 billion market cap. Like, big congratulations to them. Play some heavy beats for the XRP army. So what would that mean? Like, what would happen if, say, PulseX got to 155 billion? Well, PulseX I'm looking at right now, friends, it's about 1 billion here, and the buy and burn's 5.83%. Man, that's really, really big. PulseX is a real dark horse. It's an actual real dark horse. However, just be careful, because when the bear market comes, all the volume drops, and then it won't do as much volume for the ratcheting. But if PulseX did a 150x to match XRP, where would we go? We would go up here. 80x day one sack, around there. And I have written up here, if we hit 70x day one sack, that's 1,000x from the low. A lot of people wondering, Sommi, how can we do that? pDAI HyperLoop, bro. That's it. I've told you. pDAI HyperLoop. That would be it, okay? If you want to know how we get up to those numbers, it's a pDAI HyperLoop. And I might have to make another video just to show everybody. There are two options Richard can do. He can rotate the Ethereum SAC funds and just pump the bags up and then get dumped on his exit liquidity. That's number one. Or path number two is he can he can get pDAI to $1. And then with the PulseX yield farms, we can attract more stable coins into the bridge. So instead of the OA SAC fund purchasing power, now you have like a big multiplier on it. Now instead of like, let's say Ethereum is $10,000, the OA SAC funds would have 1.7 billion. But I'm pretty sure, and you can even calculate this yourself, Richard, using the pDAI method, might be able to get the purchasing power to 10 billion. Because he can attract stable coins in, and then he can bunny hop. So the stable coins come and they lock in. He can mint the pDAI, and not him, everyone can mint the pDAI and bunny hop into the EUSD bridge, all right, on the liquidity farms, because everyone's just there earning ink, right? You can bunny hop through them, and then you can go and pump the bags even more. So he probably calculated. He goes, well, I've got $2 billion if I use the OA funds method, or I have $10 billion with the pDAI method. And he's probably like, whoa, man, that's an extra $8 billion. And remember, that's not market cap $8 billion, friends. That is actual, real liquidity injection. It's literally 5 times more money. So that's your leverage, yeah? So that you want to know, how do we get those numbers? That's actually how we get those numbers. And yes, what happens in the unwind? You know what happens in an unwind. So I have to remind you as well, friends, please, you know what to do, man. Don't give up, no matter how bad it ever gets. Worst crypto cycle ever. So, look, we have Donald Trump. We have everything. It looks so good. It feels so good. And people will try to point at others and say, oh, you're not bullish enough, or you're too bad. Don't worry about that, man. The facts are, you and I, even though we can sniff the future, we can caress the future, we can taste the future, we're still not in the future, though. We're still not in there. We can get underwhelmed. We can get overwhelmed. You've got your stack. We're waiting for Altseason wave number 1. Okay. I actually look, I want your bags and my bags to pump really, really, really hard. But it would be in our best interests if wave number 1 doesn't quite hit the spot. It doesn't. You know, friends, when I'm eating a plate of food, I'll have like, let's say I'm eating mashed potato and gravies and steak and like vegetables and stuff, right? So I'll leave the little soggy mashed potato and gravy part to the end because I want to finish off with a nice taste. Whereas if you're like, sometimes you risk it with the steak, you might eat a bit of the fatty part. Yeah, it tastes a bit too raw. Or you might eat some shitty little broccoli piece. You know, the stems, broccoli stems are all right, but you don't hit the spot. I want to leave with a, you know what I mean? You want something to just hit it. Well, it would be in our best interest if that first Altseason wave just doesn't quite get there. Because I would love to be sitting here in this squeaky chair with a straight back telling you, listen, I don't care if we go to 0, we didn't pump hard enough. I know bull markets, we did not pump hard enough. I want to be saying that. I really do. So I'm yearning to say that. And like, I know it's this is the thing, friends. Yeah, if you're watching me like, hey, that doesn't sound very 2023, 2024 Sommi from like, you know, being rational minded and stuff. You gotta understand, friends. Sometimes you got to break the rules. And yeah, 99% of the times you're not meant to break the rules. But like I said, friends, what you'll be watching next year is like some soccer players, man, when they pull off that volley kick, man, it looks like full magic. But I don't know if you've ever seen one of them buckle it. It's just like, yeah, you're a bum, get back on the bench, you know what I mean? But when they pull off that volley kick, like it's literally like, oh my God, God has graced us with this most amazing goal. Yeah, so you're going to see that next year, and some rules will be broken. They have to be broken. That's what it is. And it's not really rules being broken, but sometimes you have to put your foot on the accelerator. Next year is the year for that. But we can't overstay our welcome. So even though it looks like, and it could always be, friends, worst crypto cycle ever. Man, comeback prophecy, man. XRP got to the high. If that can happen, only makes you think what's coming next. I'm very, very optimistic for 2025. Make sure you like, subscribe, bell button, and I'll catch you soon.